Hey, good evening, brothers. How you guys doing? Thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Good evening from my very messy house, I guess. And here we are tonight. I actually opened the curtains for the first time, like ever this year. They're big, thick thermal curtains for once. We get some light into this room during the day. And tonight we're looking at Sangregard. We're still working on a bit of the spatch paint, so some of these guys are still needing a bit of love. This one actually looks like I did the silver on him, so I don't know why he's on the painting table, but some of them are definitely needing some love. So we're just going to work on some Sangregard. I did finish my librarian, and if you can hear me okay, please shout out in the chat. The volume's good. And if you wanna talk about what you've been working on as well this week, that'd be cool to hear. But yeah, so librarian and the jump pack. Now bear in mind this is an old ass metal jump pack, so it might look a little bit rough. Oh, don't drop him. That's a good way to start, isn't it? Here you fine, thanks Brent. Yeah, hey T Furian, how you doing? So we kind of finished this guy. Just put the little transfer on his knee. It's kind of small, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I think he looks okay. There's a bit of, like, the metal jump pack's a bit ugly here in these vents. I believe this metal jump pack's been painted about 3 or 4 times at least over the years. So I'm pretty pleased with this guy. You know, considering he was a bit of a hob job of other bits that I had lying around, I'm pretty happy with him. So he'll be making his way onto the table, I believe. Hey Martin, hey Gitley, hey Crycheck, how you guys doing? He'll be making the table. I think I'm playing on Monday night, so I think we're back to live games on Monday night. That's the plan anyway. If nothing changes anyway, like everybody's still safe and healthy and stuff. Hopefully we'll be back on Monday night for our first live game in a month, basically. So that's going to be exciting. I'm definitely ready to get back to the table. But in the meantime, finish that librarian, so he'll be coming out on Monday. I'm working on my librarian Dreadnought. If Tony tunes in later, he'll be happy to know, because he always gives me a hard time for fielding the librarian Dreadnought unpainted or unfinished. So he's getting worked on off stream. I worked on him a little bit last night. He's coming along nicely. I don't know, can you guys, if I move, can you see that I have a painting table back? No, you can see the cushion behind me. You might be able to see the painting table. Just see Librarian Dreadnought. We are working on him. He is coming along. A lot to do on him, but we're working on him. So this is who I'm working on off stream at the moment. Got 2 challenging games lined up tomorrow vs Death Guard and then Mixed Chaos with Magnus. Okay, nice. Nice. Sounds like a challenge, Gitley. I've done a Librarian in Terminator Armor. I finished him maybe a month ago or so, Brent. So we finished him, then we did the Librarian Jump Pack, and now we're doing the Librarian Dreadnought. So all 3 Librarians will be finished. What's funny is before 9th edition, I used to always use Mephiston, right? But Mephiston was boss in 8th edition. I'm not so sure how I feel about him in 9th. It's just like I feel like he lost a lot when they took away his ability to attack twice. And I mean, I guess they took that away from more than just Mephiston, but Mephiston was the character that I really used it on and synergized with it, because, you know, Mephiston was able to get like 10 attacks at strength 10. So he was a real threat essentially with 20 attacks. And I know it cost some CP to do it, but I usually always use the CP on it because it was so valuable. Yeah, so I mean, I basically at this point I'll have a Mephiston painted, I'll have a Librarian in Terminator Armor, I'll have one with the jump pack, and I'll also have the Dreadnought. So I did a little tally, like maybe I used Assault Terminators last night and it felt really underwhelming. How did you have the Assault Terminators armed? Were they Lightning Claws or were they Thunder Hammers? Because I feel like with the Thunder Hammers you may need something to grant them rerolls. or at least like +1 to hit, right? Because the hitting on 4s is pretty nasty. You know, it's pretty poor, I guess. I did a tally just before. Well, say just before, maybe like a week ago or so. I tallied up what I actually have finished and fully painted, and when I came back to the hobby, I actually started a lot of stuff again, right? Because I painted it when I was a kid, and like the paint jobs of me when I was like 15 years old aren't very good. So I still have a few models that are painted by 15-year-old me. Like I have a Predator and a Rhino and maybe some other models, but like I don't count them as painted because I think that if I was going to field them, I would repaint them because, yeah, they're just old and they're average at best, I guess. Maybe even a bit below average, like, you know, sort of when I was a kid, we just did one coat on the paints and stuff. So since I came back to the hobby, I've painted 7,080 points, give or take. I didn't include maybe every weapon option, so let's say 7,100 points. And then at the moment, I have like, well, I guess with that librarian now being finished, he just needs a spray of varnish, so say 7,200 points. I have 8 Sanguinary Guard, 7 Blade Guard veterans, 5 Vanguard veterans, and the Librarian Dreadnought, and a Redemptor Dreadnought all in progress. I'm jumping between all 5 of these. So that's another 1,000 points there, pretty much. So when those are finished, then I'll have 8,000 points painted. And then at that point, I'm kind of thinking I'll maybe paint some of the units I don't play so much, like maybe a squad of Inceptors or Suppressors, because I have 2 squads of both and neither of them are finished, so I thought that may be cool. Good evening, Frank. Good evening, Jay Lopes, sorry. You always talk about attack bikes or bike squad with Meltas. I prefer attack bikes. They're the bikes with the multi-melta sidecar. That's how I roll with the bikes. 165 points for 3 of them, and it gives you 3 multi-meltas. I really like it. I think it's very strong at the moment. I'm thinking they might increase it. You know, the new chapter approved is coming out this weekend, or it's up for pre-order this weekend. I have a nasty feeling those bikes might go up in points a little bit. I guess we'll find out. You're looking for things to buy. Well, I mean, if you're looking for things to buy, I'd probably wait until after this new chapter approved drops, because, you know, things will change in points. I'm not, like, we already got a preview, was it today or yesterday, about the Land Raider dropping in points. But I don't know if it's enough points to make the Land Raider competitive. Like, the Land Raider has other problems, not just the point cost, and I think the main thing is there's so many multi-meltas in the meta, and the Land Raider has no invulnerable save. I think that's what's keeping it off the table more than its point cost. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's kind of how I feel about it. Hey Robert, just done painting my first model after 10 years. Well, congrats Robert, what did you finish? Good evening Mike, hey Scott, hey Toxic, greetings Marcel. Yeah, family is fine actually, family is off to bed tonight, so thanks for asking. It means that basically when family goes to bed, that's when I get to stream and paint and do, that's usually when I actually work on my other YouTube videos as well for the channel, you know. They usually get work. If I ever look tired in a YouTube video, you'll know why, because I'm always filming them after, like, I'll sit down to film at like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and sometimes if it's been a long day, like, I'll just basically slam a coffee, and I guess what I mean by that is, like, just make a cup of coffee and just basically down it, like drink it all in a few seconds, and then come through, because, like, otherwise you can feel like, for YouTube you need to be pumped, right? For the videos you need to show a lot of energy. Aiden's painting Sanguinary Guard. Yeah, let me know what you guys are painting tonight as well. We're always hanging out here just painting and stuff. I don't think I'll ever be done painting my Blood Angels. I want to get another super heavy tank. I've got one super... It's funny, I always talk about stuff that I've got half in progress. So I guess I buy some models, I get halfway through painting them, then I realise that my army list is changing, or they're not going to be the most competitive models at the time, so they get put on the back burner, and then like months later I'm like, oh yeah, I should finish that because that's competitive now. So I actually have one super heavy tank that's half finished. Maybe not half, maybe like a third, but I mean a third of a super heavy tank is actually quite a lot of painting. So Yeah, I would like to get another super heavy. I don't know which one. I was kind of thinking about getting a Strayus. I just think it's kind of a cool tank, and you don't have to pay Martial Legacy points for the Strayus, right? Because it's like an actual updated tank, Primaris tank. So you just have to pay for the detachment it goes in, the 3 CP, which isn't the end of the world, I guess. Do you think there's any of the Forge World tanks worth getting? I mean, yeah, for sure. There's like Sicarians that are pretty decent. There's the Laser Destroyer, which is very decent, and we did a video on the Laser Destroyer recently. We talked about the Sicarian, I think, in last week's video against Dark Elder. And like, if you want super heavy tanks, then I actually think Blood Angels can. I think a Blood Angels army can work with a super heavy in it. I mean, I kind of proved it could work by winning a lot of games with it. I don't know if it's the most competitive, but it's certainly fun. Super heavy tanks are a lot of fun. And you know, we did a video on the transports a few weeks ago. You know, Forge World transports like the Spartan. The Spartan's a pretty interesting one. I think it carries 25 models, so you can literally have like 10 jump troops in there and a couple of characters. It's pretty cool. The Land Raider could drop 120 points and I would probably still not take it. Yeah, I don't think 20 points is enough on a Land Raider. I think you're right. Good evening, Lagmeister. I actually wrote a comment on Games Workshop's Facebook page today when it said like the Land Raider has gone down 7% in points, and I was like, great, it'll be in 7% more games. Remind me what 7% of 0 is. Because like, the points cost for the Land Raider isn't the problem, I think. The problem is there's so many multi-meltas on the table and it's got no invulnerable save. Like, how can you... You can't spend 260 points on a model that'll get shot off the table in one turn with 0 chance of saving. I mean, I guess... I mean, you can spend it if you like to lose games. But yeah, I don't necessarily think that the points cost was the only problem with the Land Raider. Painting Bad Batch and cursors, that sounds pretty cool. You know, I've actually only watched the first episode of Bad Batch. I kind of like to... I'm more of a binge watcher. I hate the nonsense of like them releasing one episode a week of TV shows. I much prefer it when you can get like... You know, when you... If you've got a kid, you'll know you can't always make that time every week. So I prefer getting like 5 or 6 episodes, and then when the baby's asleep or something... watch a bunch of episodes at once. So I've only watched the first episode of the Bad Batch, but I did think it was pretty cool. I really like the Rebels tie-in. Spoiler, I suppose, if you haven't seen Rebels. Well, you wouldn't know it if you haven't seen Rebels, but yeah, if you haven't watched Rebels, you should watch it. It's a great TV show as well. I actually think the Rebels cartoon was better than the new Star Wars movies, but that's just my opinion on Star Wars. A Jakari Eldar Raider has more chance to live than a Land Raider. Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. I mean, the invulnerable save is the invulnerable save probably is that strong that it does make it more survivable. It's kind of sad, isn't it? Like, I don't know who does the balance at Games Workshop, but like sometimes I just think they're a little bit out of touch. You know that? You know, especially when you see all the new codexes coming for all the other races, and they're all stupidly strong. And it was like our codex came first, and it was like. Is it fair to say our codex was average this time round? I kind of feel like it was. Hey Stephen, thanks for becoming a subscriber. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, maybe if the Land Raiders could take Primaris models, that would make them more interesting. I had a bit of a rant on one of my videos last week or so, right, about how stupid a rule that is. Apparently one of the new AdMech unit, I forget what it's called, is it the Scorpius, the tank that can take infantry, has no restrictions on the type of infantry that they can put in it, apparently. So I guess we'll see. They need to figure out, they really need to go back and look at all the, unless they're going to stop selling Land Raiders and stuff like that, just unify them and let Primaris models in them. Like, that would be the biggest mistake they ever made. You know, like the Imperium of Man, we're going to create a new Space Marine. Oh, by the way, guys, this new Space Marine we're going to create doesn't fit in any of their existing tanks. Like, nobody saw that coming. Like, Archmage Call, who's been alive for thousands of years. Like, no one said to him, hey, Call, do you not think it's going to be a problem that none of these Marines fit in these tanks? Like, come on. And also, people can duck, right? Like, if you have to get into a box that's smaller than you can duck. It's not that hard. I feel like the Space Marine armor is agile enough that they can get into a slightly smaller transport. They can duck their head, guys. Come on. Picked up 2 boxes of heavy intercessors and a captain from Element using your link, Johns. Thanks for that. They should be here on Saturday. Oh, thank you for that, Mike. Really appreciate it. I'm super close to getting a new camera. Probably gonna get it. Well, I'm actually waiting for Amazon to pay me like some affiliate referral money for people signing up to those Audible trials, and then I'm gonna get this new camera. So I'm excited to get it. Hopefully it'll mean just better quality videos, better quality live streams. So probably gonna be ordering that like next week or so. So anytime you guys use the referral links, especially like, you know, Chapter Approved is coming out on Saturday, right? So like a lot of people need to buy Chapter Approved, I imagine. So if anyone wants to help out and use any of my referral links, they'd be appreciated. Maybe help me get that new camera a little bit quicker. I love painting Sangre Guard. I've painted so many of them, but I genuinely really enjoy them. They're cool models. I feel like I'm always painting Sangre Guard though. I think I'm going to paint this little goblet silver just because the rest of the model's gold. Painted a Repulsor Executioner in my custom scheme. Well, congrats. Yeah, let's share that on Discord, man. I'd like to see your first model in 20 years, Robert. Scott says painting a Whirlwind. Oh shit, the chat hasn't been scrolling on my screen. Sorry. I was wondering, I was taking my time. Oh, you just posted it. Okay, we'll check it out. Are Assault Terminators worth sticking in a list now with Primaris options? I mean, I think Assault Terminators are fairly decent. Like, they're survivable. They can hold the middle of the board. You know, they can do a lot of damage. I don't dislike Assault Terminators. I think that the Teleport Homer is wasted points. But I think Assault Terminators, as in general, I think they're an okay unit. Like, I think if you want to run Assault Terminators, I got no problems with it. The best heavy is the Thunderhawk. Yeah, I mean, you'll never fit the Thunderhawk onto the table, so that's a problem. Pretty sure watching static snow on the TV was better than the scenes in the new Star Wars movies. Yeah, I was a bit sad about that, man. I kind of wish they just finished the Star Wars thing with, like, you know, Return of the Jedi was a fine ending. They didn't need to. Well, I was excited when they were going to make more, but they didn't do very well, in my opinion. There's a lot, you know, if you dive into Star Wars, there's a lot of people who love the new movies. I wasn't one of them. Hemorrhoids is better than the new Star Wars trilogy. Okay, Mike's on Camp John here. Honestly, Centurions or Blade Guard are probably better than Assault Terminators, but I love the Blood Angels Assault Terminators. I mean, Blade Guard are good because of Transhuman. Take it easy, Crycheck. Thanks for hanging out. And we did get a little bit of a shaft on our codex coming first. I think that I'm really hopeful that we see a couple of point reductions. I'm not even sure what on. I don't think Vanguard Veterans will get point reductions. I think Centurions might get point reductions. What else do I think might get point reduction? I would like to see Sanguinary Guard get a point reduction, but I don't think they will. What else? Maybe Death Company Marines could get a point reduction, because right now, you know, they're arguably worse than Vanguard Veterans, and Vanguard Veterans are kind of cheaper. So maybe they could do a point reduction on Death Company. I kind of feel like they won't, but it would be nice. I don't know, I was hoping for maybe like a 50 point reduction across my list. I don't know where that's all coming from. but I was kind of hoping that we'd see some point reductions for some of the Blood Angel stuff, because we aren't the strongest right now. Not just the anti-tank issue, but Land Raiders fill a role that isn't strong. There isn't really a place in the meta for Medicore transport that's just so much more expensive than the troop it carries. Yeah, and I mean, the other big issue, I suppose, is how they made all the transports not have the core keyword, right? So it's like you can't get any sort of rerolls on the transports or the vehicles unless you've got that Tech Marine. And for me, Blood Angels, it's hard to fit you have to give up quite a bit to get the Tech Marine in the list, right? Like, you basically have to give up a Librarian or the Sangre Priest to get the Tech Marine in. And at that point, like, you're sort of sat there going, like, is this Tech Marine going to be better than a Sangre Priest or a Librarian? I'd say probably not, you know? It's a real dilemma, I guess, for Blood Angels right now, armor. But I mean, we're probably lucky because we can kind of choose to ignore armor as a Blood Angel. Some of the other Space Marine factions probably can't do that quite as well. Hey Adam, good evening. Hey Kevin, thanks for tuning in. Dude, the man used suppressors against Dark Eldar and had some good results. What camera are you getting? I'm thinking of getting... Incorrect. I mean, I am not a camera person at all. 2 hit to wound. Like I know very little about cameras. I can show you the shit camera that I record all my current videos on, which is like, you see this thing? It's like a Sony Handycam, like with a flip screen. So I bought it to take like family videos. It's really not a good camera at all. I know that much. I know that's not a good camera. It only costs like $200. So I was thinking of getting the Canon M50 Mark II, which is supposed to be good for both live streaming and it's got interchangeable lenses. That one can't change. You can't change the lens on that one. And it's also got a really good inbuilt microphone. And it can do 4K as well. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to always shoot in 4K, but I believe if you can shoot in 4K, what it means is if you do shoot at a lower resolution, you'll get like a really crisp picture. So I was thinking for my battle reports, I still plan on doing the battle reports in 1080, but I was hoping it would give me like a better, like, you'd be able to tell what the units are a lot better on the live stream, right? Because the camera has like an interchangeable lens and it'll be able to get a better focus and stuff like that. So hopefully it's good. It's on Amazon for like $6.99, which is a big upgrade from what I'm using at the moment. They can fundamentally change the gene seed of a Marine, but they can't make some extra harnesses on Primaris vehicles and widen the doors on Firstborn vehicles so everybody can fit. Yeah, and also, Adam, did you know on all Primaris vehicles they actually have to have like a... You know when you get on the butt... Shit, I never use public transport. I've always lived in a small city, right? So I walk everywhere that I've ever needed to go. I've always walked. Even when I moved to a big city for a while, I just walked everywhere, right? I guess you get into that habit of walking and you just walk. But you know when you get on a bus, right, and there's a conductor there. Did you know that in all Primaris vehicles there's a conductor that stands there at the entrance, and if a Firstborn Marine tries to get on, he says, no, it's Primaris only. So they're kind of like... it wouldn't be racist, that wouldn't be the right word, but they're kind of like... you know, it's like it's 20. No, it's not 20 anything. It's 41st millennium discrimination. You know, that's what it is. It's so stupid that you can't put Firstborn Marines on a Primaris transport. Honestly, I could go on and on for it for days. It just annoys me. Maybe point reduction in Predators. I mean, yeah, Predators are overcosted. I'll agree with that. I don't know how much of a point reduction they'd need to be competitive. If they get the same 7% point reduction the Land Raiders get, and then I'll tell you right now, they're not going to be competitive. Like, no, you're still not going to see any Predators on the table if that's what happens to them. Do you know what? Some people actually do love Predators as well. It's kind of sad that they just are so neglected at the moment. I don't know what they need to do to make Predators good, but a lot more than 7% points cheaper, I would imagine. Can characters get point reductions and chapters approved? I mean, they can. Will they change many of the characters though? They might. You know, I feel like last edition they actually bumped up, because Astaroth used to be 110 points, and at 110 points I actually think Astaroth was very competitive, but they bumped him to 150, and at 150 I've literally never played him. And I played him all the time and he was 110, so I mean they might change a couple of characters. Hey Dolph, good evening, how you doing? Sanguinary Guard need a point reduction, or they should have 3 wounds. Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll get if we get a couple of points per model in the Sanguinary Guard, that would be a very welcome change. I think that would maybe push us back to a really nice state, but I can't see it happening. I feel like, honestly, I wish I could talk to the guy who does balance at Games Workshop and ask him like what he's thinking, because I'm not sure. Like, when you see the strength and stuff of like Death Guard and stuff, and then it's like, I mean, we can beat them, but we have to play so smartly to beat them. It's so difficult. They're saying Sanguinary Guard are too cheap? No way are they too cheap. Ball Predator needs a point decrease, yeah. Ball Predator needs an invulnerable save as well, yeah. I mean, it does, I suppose. Like, if it, I have 2 Ball Predators, and I think there would need to be a lot of changes for me to consider running them, I guess. Tech Marine sucks either way. Point reduction on aircraft? I mean, I get, yeah, I mean, as soon as the book comes out, like, I'll be pre-ordering it on Saturday for sure. As soon as the book comes out, we'll get on here for a live stream and we'll talk over all the changes, I guess, and we'll try and break down what's good and bad, because that should be pretty fun. I'm excited. I'm really hopeful for something for us. Like, I feel like Games Workshop know we aren't the most competitive right now, so they need to give us something, but I guess we'll see. I got a tournament come up in September, so if we can get like a little bit, like, it doesn't have to be much, tiny little buff before the September tournament, that would be lovely. I've had a Canon 200D for years. It's really simple to use. The M50 will be a good improvement. All right, thanks to Hitsu Wound. Yeah, I as I say, I'm very new to cameras, but I do know that the one I've got sucks. So, I mean, it's done a job for me, right? You know, but yeah, it's been one of the first things I wanted to buy ever since I started YouTube, was like to get a better camera, and I guess all the memberships and everything that everybody's given me every month is so appreciated, and basically hopefully it just means you guys will get better content, because we'll have a much nicer camera as of probably like the middle of next month. If las cannons were improved to D3+3 like the Vindicator Laser Destroyer, could it make the Predator competitive? I think that would be a good first step, Adam, right? Like, I don't know why a bunch of the Space Marine weapons are still so swingy, right? Because it seems like all the other factions are getting theirs improved to, like you said, D3+3, and Space Marines are supposed to be like pretty elite units in the lore, you know? Like, we're supposed to have the best technology and stuff, and you know, maybe, you know, like maybe like maybe las cannons don't get changed, but maybe we get access to like a better version of a las cannon on some units, you know, like maybe that would be one way that they could make it work, where it's like certain units could take, I don't know, a las destroyer or something, you know, because they've got that las talon, right? So like there could be something like a las destroyer where certain units can take a las destroyer, and it is a las cannon but just with the D3+3, so it's more reliable, less swingy, and then maybe that could help push some of those units from obscurity into actual people's minds, you know, if you can actually do more reliable damage, I guess. Hard to say, but that seems to me like it would be a good first step, right? The Land Raiders, I don't think it's enough deking the Land Raider change. 7% cheaper in points. Yeah, I just don't think it's enough. I mean, I have a couple of Land Raiders, and you know, would I like to at least be able to field one? And like, I've been running Centurions, and I've been enjoying taking the Centurions. So, arguably, like, would I like to put a bunch of Centurions in a Land Raider with like someone that'll buff them? I mean, sure, I would love to do that, but I find it very difficult right now to run models with no invulnerable save that are going to, like, the only reason it works with the Redemptor is the Duty Eternal, because the Redemptor obviously has a no invulnerable save, but Duty Eternal actually gives you some great survivability. Like, Duty Eternal is like one of my favourite stratagems. I think it's so strong. Breaking news, Sanguine Guard are now 60 points. Fuck Blood Angels, play Smurfs. No. I don't know what will happen. I wish... If any of you guys get any leaks, because there's always leaks, right? They always send out... someone on the internet always has a leak. So if anyone gets a leak, please post it in Discord and like tag me in it, because I actually got a leak of the Space Marine Codex last time. Like the 9th edition Space Marine Codex, and it was one of the best performing streams that I ever did on this channel. Like, we had like 500 people watching live or something ridiculous, because like everyone was like, oh my god, Space Marine leaks, let's talk about them. So if we get leaks, one, I'd love to stream them because I really want to know the points cost, but two, it might also be a crazy stream because like just everybody wants to know the leaks as well. So if anyone finds any leaks, tag me in Discord straight away, please. Thank you. Be very, very much appreciated. I'll shout you out as a big thank you. But I guess it'll be, you know, it might, I feel like it will leak before the day of release for sure. I feel like there usually is a leak before the day of release. I'm painting an Achilles right now and been painting it for 2 months already. That means by the time I've finished it, the points will have come down enough to make it competitive, or it'll be nerfed to oblivion. That's always the way. 3 Centurions cramped up in 1 Land Raider. Yes, 3 Centurions in a Land Raider with those giant drills. The Centurions are so big they barely even fit into the case that I have to carry the models around. But don't worry, we can't fit 5 Primaris Intercessors in that Land Raider. No can do. Like, just get over that rule already, you know? Like, I don't get why that's still a thing, like, honestly. Like, it's gonna break the meta to let Primaris in a Land Raider in a like, the only reason I can see that, the reason for that rule is to sell repulsors, and newsflash, no one runs repulsors either because they're shit. You can't have like a 350 point tank with no invulnerable save unless you just want to lose 350 points in turn 1. And that is the way of 40k right now. It's the same as like Storm Ravens. Like, I love the Storm Raven gunship. Cool model. It looks great on the flight stand. It has tons of weapon options, but like, how do you run it? You you're just making it easy for your opponent. Like whoever's doing the balance, like, I don't know what they're thinking. Like, I don't know how they decide the balance of stuff, but like whatever they're doing is, in my opinion, it's a bit, something's wrong somewhere. I mean, maybe it comes from the fact that like they changed multi-meltas to be 2 shots, and they didn't touch the points on multi-meltas anywhere, right? Like, so if you paid 25 points for a multi-melta before on a unit, you pretty much still pay 25 points now, and that has changed everything because things that were survivable before could just be outdone by multi-meltas. I don't know if you guys have... Do you know what? You guys haven't seen this list yet, right? Let me show you this list. And it's... Give me 1 second to pull it up, because it's in a Facebook message. I haven't posted it anywhere yet. Right, let me just put it into a notepad file. Copy, notepad, paste. Alright, let me turn on my monitor. Hopefully, yeah, alright, you guys can see this? Right, so this is the sisters list that I'm playing this week. Let me make the font a little bit bigger. Or this is the sisters list I'm probably going to be playing on Monday, right? So we have a Canoness with an Infernal Pistol, who is the Warlord. A Palatine with a Plasma Pistol. 3 squads of Battle Sisters, that's fine. And a Magifier with that banner, I think, that makes them able to ignore like -2, right? Or the something like that, I think. And then look at this shit. You've got 174 points for like 1, 2, 3, 4 multi-meltas and 2 Sherbs. So that's 12 multi-melta shots for 174 points. Another 12 multi-melta shots for another 174 points. Another 12 multi-melta shots. So this list is 36 multi-meltas at this point. 2 more Immolator tanks, 145 points each, with 2 meltas. So each one gets 4 melta shots. So this list has 44 multi-melta shots in it. Then St. Catherine, a squad of Repentia, 2 squads of Seraphim, a squad of Mortifiers. So I guess it's got like a bunch of heavy bolter shots in here as well. What, like 18 heavy bolters, and then a Rhino. So, like, how do you run a tank with no invulnerable save against... Like, he doesn't even have to spend that much points on this. Like, 290 points plus 174 times 3. 174 times 3 is 350... 525 minus 3, 522 plus 290, 722, 810 points he's had to spend for 44 multi-melta shots. 820 points for 44 melta shots, right? So he's basically... Let me bring up the calculator, because that's some math I can't do in my head. 822 divided by 44... He's spending 18 points per multi-melta shot. How are you going to field a tank with no invulnerable save against... That's not even half his... Like, he could literally... You know, he could literally run double that. He could almost have 100 multi-melta shots per turn in his army at that rate. I mean, I just don't... Like... I just don't know. Is this my new list? No, this is the list of Sisters of Battle that we're fighting on Monday night. How many points do you think a repulsor should be? Well, I mean, if he can get multi-meltas for 18 points per, basically, like, how many multi-meltas does it take to kill a repulsor? That's a good question, right? I can work that out. But yeah, I mean, it's something needs to be done with the balance, you know, in my opinion. Like, people are complaining multi-melta attack bikes are good, but like, look at that, sisters. That's disgusting, right? Are Blood Angels competitive? Have they been historically competitive? I'm just getting into Warhammer, and it's quite a large investment. I want to make sure they're a good choice from a gameplay tournament. I mean, Blood Angels win tournaments. Last edition, they won a lot of tournaments. This edition, they've won a couple of grand tournaments, I think. But where we are right now, I mean, we're a top 10 army, I'd say. But like, it goes round and round. Every time a new book is released, usually when the book is released, that army is number one for a little while. It's called Codex Creep, I guess, Adrian. Every time a new book comes out, usually it's stronger than the last book. Vehicles are dead to that type of meta. Yeah, I mean, like, how... So I played Andrew before when he was running this list, but he was running, like, one less squad of Melta guns. And it was super hard. We took the win by, like, 2 points. So I actually don't know how we'll do against even more Meltas. Pretty much anything you can see, he can kill, right? Like, it's just disgusting. The one thing to be said, though, is he does have less close combat, and usually, against Sisters of Battle, usually when they make close combat charges with Azarafin and Repentia, they just delete whatever they get into close combat with. So not having to deal with that might be good. It's gonna be a really tough game, regardless. I mean, I played Andrew's list before when he had I think he had 3 squads of Eradicators, and we worked out the same. Like, Andrew just seems to build these lists with like ridiculous numbers of multi-melta shots. And Andrew said to me, actually, he's on a bit of a win streak as well. So while I've been taking a little break from the live games, he's been building up a win streak. So it's going to be a tough game. Hopefully we can smack him down, but you never know. You never know, I guess. And I guess that many multi-meltas, terrain will be a big factor, right? Like, if the terrain is good and I can hide a lot of my units at the start, then I feel like we've got a really good chance. But like, if it's a really open board, there's nowhere to get across the board without like absorbing a round or 2 of fire of all those multi-meltas, that will be super rough. So I guess we're gonna really see on this one. That's a crazy list, says Dracula. Yeah, I mean, it is crazy. Andrew likes to bring crazy lists. Most armies are competitive. Some point, my suggestion would be go with an army like the Lukov in the lower. Yeah, that's probably right. You know, the thing is, some people will ditch an army or like chase the meta. Yeah. And I think we've seen it just this last week. I was watching Vanguard Tactics. Hey, Token Fat Guy, thank you for subscribing, brother. I was watching Vanguard Tactics, and they were... I guess Steven is kind of done with Blood Angels this edition. And I think he was basically saying that he can't play the Blood Angels how he wants to play them, maybe. And he said he was also done with his Harlequins, maybe, this edition as well. But for me... I'm a one chapter kind of guy, right? Like, I take ages to paint my models, and I spend a lot of time on them. And maybe one day we'll get a second army, but that day is a long way away. You know, if I'm just like I'm telling you guys, in the next month or something, I'm gonna have 8,000 points of this Blood Angels army repainted. So I've been back doing Blood Angels for about 3 years at this point, maybe 3.5. So I've got another 3.5 years of painting ahead of me easily. So maybe like 2025 we could think about another army, but like right now, I just want to, and that's if we don't buy any of the new releases. You know, like I actually don't own an Executioner. I don't own any of those new Storm Speeders. What else don't I own? I think I own all the Primaris troops. And when I say troops, I mean everything, like the elites, the Centurion, sorry, not the Centurions, the Aggressors. I've got Aggressors, I've got Reavers, I've got Suppressors ×2, I've got Inceptors ×2, I've got a bunch of Intercessors, I've got Assault Intercessors, I've got incursors, I've got infiltrators. Is there any other Primaris troops? Oh, I've got eliminators as well. Don't really run the eliminators much, but I mean, I don't think many people do right now. Yeah, is there any other Primaris troops on top of them? Yeah, thank you, Token, for that, guy. It's nice to see you. I don't think we've seen you in stream before, so thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. Just wait and see how Awful Sisters be with their future Purgation Warsuit HQ. I reckon that Warsuit's going to be about 400 points toxic. What do you think? What do you guys think the cost is going to be that? I got into Warhammer because of the Blood Angels books. That's why I'm looking at the Blood Angels. Well, I mean, I'd take the plunge, man. There's nothing wrong with Blood Angels. I mean, if you want to chase, like, if you want to be someone that chases the meta, you'll need a new army every year. Because the meta does change every year, and at some point, Blood Angels will be back on top. There was a period in the last edition when I felt like pretty strongly like we were on top, and you know, if you watch this channel, you will see a lot of Blood Angels wins. That's one thing that we can do reliably, is we beat everybody on this channel. And I've run 2 lists in the last 6 months. I would have probably had 3 or 4 lists if there hadn't been the pandemic, but because of the pandemic, I've only really managed to run 2 lists in the last 6 months. And the first list went 8 wins, 0 losses, and the second list went 11 wins, 0 losses. And now we're building a third list for 9th edition. And I think this list is going to be my tournament list. So I guess the last 2 lists were kind of like feeler lists, feeling out what we can do. So I'm really hoping that this next list that we build will be the tournament list. And like I said, I've got a tournament coming up in September, so probably trying to build a list that can be ready for that tournament. And ideally, I would really like to do better than the 11-0 list that just finished. Like, I'd like my new list to go 15 wins, 0 losses. And you know, we'll play everybody. We'll make sure we play the strongest, or the quote-unquote tier 1 armies, I guess. Like, we don't dodge away from any battle. We try and play everybody. And we don't change the list. That's the whole point, right? Surprised no one's taking the fact that multi-meltas are 5 points on box knots these days. Then use them to support eradicators. Just got to figure out when to get the damn bits. BA are 2 or 3 buffs away from being the most versatile chapter. Yeah, do you know, as far as Marine chapters go, though, like, I don't think I've lost against any other Marines in 9th edition. I haven't played that many. I've played Ultramarines. Oh, I did lose once at the very start against Ultramarines, but that was basically using the 8th edition codex with 9th edition rules, right? So I guess since we got our codex, I haven't lost against any Marines or Chaos Space Marines. So, I mean, take it what you will. But yeah, I think trying to chase the meta is I mean, if you have a lot of money and you're happy to buy a lot of different armies all the time and maybe commission someone to paint them, you know, go for it, I guess. But if you want something that's solid and gives you a lot of options, I mean, Space Marines do give you a lot of options. We have them pretty much the most units of all the armies, hands down, right? People get mad every time there's a new Space Marine release because they feel like we already have enough toys. Speaking of multi-melta, looking at Eradicators vs Hammer Strike today, seems to me Hammer Strike is same melta attacks but more mobile plus missile and grenades. I mean, the Hammer Strike's going to get profiled, Russell, right? And it doesn't... Am I correct in thinking it doesn't have the core keyword? I don't... By the way, Bike Squad can take multi-meltas. I mean, that's why the bikes are so strong, I guess, right? The bikes with... And also, the great thing about the bikes is the resurrection from the Sanguinary Priest. That makes them kind of insane, right? If the enemy don't finish the bikes off, you just pop one back up. You just need one bike to survive with one wound, and it's like, oh, that bike's fully healed, and we've got another one back. It's super strong. I love it. It's one of the strongest things we can do right now, I feel like. You taking the Warsuit base, they're going to be like 50 to 100 points really, but the Lord of Terra, no idea. I was talking about the Lord of Terra. I think she's going to be like four. I think if she's much less than like 350 points, we're going to have like another really, really difficult fight on our hands because her rules seem crazy. Hello, Neolation? I can't even say your name. It's like isolationist. Oh, is it neo-isolationist? Okay, sorry. Hello, updating 3rd edition Honor Guard to Vanguard veterans. Thinking of 5 Storm Shields and 5 Infernal Pistols. Keeping the Power Sword, Power Axes, Arms. Opinion on loadouts appreciated. 100% at the moment, your best loadout is Lightning Claws and Storm Shields. On like 4 of them, and then like a Relic Blade, Infernal Pistol, and the Sergeant. Lightning Claws are so strong right now. And they're cheap as well. So that's how I would do it. I actually ripped a bunch of my Vanguard veteran arms off to make more with Lightning Claws, because that's just where they are. But I mean, Infernal Pistols aren't bad either, but like the role of that unit really is the close combatness, and Lightning Claws give you an extra attack, they give you the rerolls to wound. They're just very, very strong. They're also very strong like in the second round of combat, you know, like if you don't kill the enemy, that's when the rerolls to wound really kick in as well, because you don't have the red thirst rule anymore. So yeah, that's my opinion, is Lightning Claws and Storm Shields on most of the squad is the best option. Multi-melts for 5 points on box knots is fine until you realise you're paying 120 points to cart around, which is points better served on attack bikes for more shots and arguably more durability. Yeah, you know that I do have I think I've got 2 or 3 box knots with multi-melters, and actually one might have a frag cannon or something because it was an old Furioso, but yeah, I'm not sure about the box knots. It's an interesting. I mean, I get why you would do it, because you could access like Wisdom of the Ancient, right? And you could give the other units around it some rerolls. But like, I'm not seeing too many people running box knots, and if not too many people are running, it usually means it's not super strong. Really hope you're going to be able to come down to November tournament Ascot. If that is the November tournament that Andrew bought me a ticket for at Gitley, I'm not going to be able to make that. I don't know if you were here the other night. My wife's pregnant again, so she's going to be pretty far along in November. So maybe that one will need like a rain check into next year. I'm going to go. There's one in Stirling that I'm going to in September, which I think is kind of pushing it. So. But yeah, November I don't think is going to work for me anymore, unfortunately. I mean, I did buy the ticket, and I'd said to Andrew, like, can you go ahead and get a refund on the ticket, because, or sell it on to someone else or get a refund. So I hope you didn't book that to see me. If so, I'm sorry. I should have maybe said on stream earlier. I haven't even told that many people in real life that we're pregnant, because we're kind of not at 12 weeks, and you're not even supposed to tell people until you're 12 weeks, because, you know, the first 12 weeks is like the highest chance of losing the baby and stuff. But the reason we've had to tell some people is because, like, my wife's not been able to get vaccinated, right? Because you can't get the COVID vaccine before you're 12 weeks. So, like, you know, people are asking, like, because I've had my first vaccination shot, and people are asking my wife, like, all the time, like, hey, are you vaccinated yet? You know, because she's old enough to be vaccinated, and she's had to keep saying no. So, rumours that the sister Primarch is going to be 350 points. Yeah, that's what I got from looking at her Athenos, right? I thought she looked like she was going to be about 350 points. I mean, she seems like on a par with Rabute, right? And Rabute is like 380. but she does have that pretty nice like half damage thing that Marneus Calgar has. So it's kind of like Duty Eternal on. It's like it's Duty Eternal. It's like the buff version of Duty Eternal. So she's going to be very strong. Appreciate the comments. No, you're welcome, Isolationist. Hey. Yeah, thank you for the congrats. But yeah, I'm sorry that I would have. Yeah, I just haven't really been telling many people, I guess, because it wasn't planned. Or I mean, we did want to have another baby, but maybe not. Like we kind of wanted to be vaccinated and all that sort of stuff, and then worry about that. So yeah, it's happened, I guess. So I guess we're just gonna have to deal with it. But yeah, I'm gonna have to cancel that tournament in November. Maybe next year, man. Gilliman also has the minus half damage thing. No, does he? I thought it was just Marneus Calgar that had the minus damage. Gilliman has the rule where he comes back. Like when you kill him, you roll a d6 or something on like is it like a 3+ or something? He comes back alive with like d6 wounds. But I don't think he's got the Duty Eternal half damage thing. I think the half damage thing might be better than the coming back alive thing actually, because the coming back alive thing is like RNG based, whereas the half damage thing will just be half damage on everything all the time, right? So it'll probably be a bit more reliable. Best of luck on the new baby. Yeah, I'm hoping it's a boy this time, man. I mean, I love my little girl and I wouldn't change her, but a boy would be nice for getting into Warhammer. Not to say girls can't play Warhammer. I'm sure girls can play Warhammer. And you know, maybe my little girl will love Warhammer, but I feel like a little boy is like a guaranteed Warhammer player, right? Like it wouldn't even be a question of it. It'll just be like, let's do it, Warhammer. Because I remember what I was like with a kid. And I friggin' loved Warhammer. I like you, John, but not enough that I would only book tickets an event of hope, the hope of stalking you. Okay, thanks, Gitley. I appreciate the honesty. If you let me know what tickets if you let me know what tournaments you're doing, sort of like next summer. We'll try and hook up and we'll get tickets for the same tournament. That would be cool. Because probably not going to go to a tournament like in the first 3 months, I guess, either after the baby's born. Because like, if you've had kids, you'll know that in the first 3 months, neither of you sleep, and it's generally a tough time, right? Because I guess I didn't realize this after the first baby, but babies don't know what night and day is, so you end up. If I remember correctly, I remember the baby would not sleep at all, right? And it was like 4 o'clock well, maybe not 4 o'clock. Let's say it was like 2:30 in the morning or something. And I was just like, oh my God, she just will not go to sleep. What are we going to do? And I was like, I've had it. I'm just going to go downstairs and watch telly. You know, there's no point messing around anymore. So took the baby, went downstairs, put on friggin' Top Gear or something, right? You know in Top Gear where they're like testing the cars and they're absolutely ripping them and it's like, boom. Honestly, 5 minutes of the friggin' cars in Top Gear. So I'm sitting in the living room at like 2:45 in the morning. The baby is just instantly asleep. And I was like, you are joking me, because now, if I move, like if I try and move and carry her upstairs, she'll be awake again. You know, so now it's like, now I'm stuck in the living room at 4 o'clock in the morning watching Top Gear, and I was like, oh, well, I mean, at least in the 20th century you have Netflix. I don't know, like 20 years ago, what the hell they would have done. At least now we have our phones and we have Netflix and stuff, makes things a bit easier, right? But, yeah, so I probably won't go for a tournament for the first little while after the new baby's born either, but we're going to manage to squeeze one in, hopefully, before, which is the one that I've booked in September. My son is now 20 and he's 6'8". Geez, okay. My daughter at the moment is just past 18 months. She's coming up to 19 months. Naming him Dante, no. I would like, if it's a boy, name him Dante or Sanguinius. Yeah, I don't think my wife would be up for that. We're probably actually going to go with like a family name if possible. My daughter is 6 in August and she's painted her firstborn marine rainbow pink. The only thing they're good for. Firstborn marines are good for more than being in rainbow pink. How dare you? Or am I not reading that right? Greetings, Camille. Good evening. How are you? I'm about to be a dad of a couple of weeks. Congratulations, EXO. Nice, man. Hey, Mark. Good evening. How you doing? We are just talking. We're just chilling tonight, Mark. Talking a little bit about the new Sisters Primarch. How many points we think should be. Seeing what other people are working on. Talking tournaments. I was hoping to. I think I already actually said to Mark that as soon as these new points costs get finalised, or if we get any leaks, we'll try and get on stream and discuss them straight away. I'm really hoping that Blood Angels get a little something. I feel like we deserve a little love. That's what I'm hoping for. Just a little love. Doesn't need to be much. Just a little love. Dante is an awesome name. Tycho recently added a whirlwind to my list. Posted the conversion on Facebook and it got my first win. It's actually incredible. Congrats, Buzzing. Yes, the whirlwind is actually incredible. You are right. That's why I've been swearing by it. Especially against some armies. Like, it just provides crazy value. And it doesn't do any damage, but it just provides some crazy value. I guess you could get similar value out of a Judicar. And I guess the Judicar could do damage, but I mean, with the Judicar, you just have to be on point with your positioning. The Whirlwind, I guess, you can be a little bit more lax, I guess, for a better word. Do you know what? If the Judicar still had that 6-inch aura, I'd probably still run a Judicar. I really feel sad that they nerfed that to 3. I saw the new heavy intercessors at my local retailer today. Really not worth the cash. I mean, the heavy intercessors are so expensive. That's the thing. Bought Soulblight for the AOSS vampires. Cool. Sanguinius would be an incredible name. Wouldn't fancy a teacher getting the chances of nailing that one. Maybe, David. Anthony, your daughter must be right around the same as mine, because mine is going to be 19 months in like 9 days. Gotta call it a night. Thanks, Mike, for tuning in. Baby Tycho. Land Raider went down, so that's the thing. I don't think Land Raider went down enough, though. I think it's too easy to include multi-meltas in an army now. And I think multi-meltas will just make fast work of a Land Raider. You know, -4 against the 2+ save suddenly becomes basically... Anytime you're saving on 6s, it feels bad, man. You know? So... I'm not loving a 20-point reduction in the Land Raider, honestly. Like, I don't think that makes it fieldable. Oh, hey, Loud. I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. Loud Awig. Thank you so much for becoming a member. That is so appreciated. We are still building members on this channel, so thank you very much for the support, brother. And I don't know if we've ever spoken before, Loud, so if you need anything, if you have a video suggestion or anything, you know, you're welcome in our Discord group. You're welcome in the Facebook group. Hit me up if you ever need anything. But no, appreciate the support. Thank you for becoming a member. You could call him Lewis. Isn't it spelled Luis, Lewis Dante? It wasn't with an O, right? Man, just hearing you call him Lewis makes me want to read that first Dante book again. You know that? That was such a good book. I think it's Guy Healy that writes that Blood Angels series. I wish he could just focus on Blood Angels books. Like, screw the other chapters. I just want more Blood Angels books, you know? I hear Sigismund's is a fine name for a boy. Yeah, I mean, we could go on and on with names, right? Lou Dog. Alright, Lou Dog, I see. Dog spelt D-A-W-G-G. Okay, I'm with you, brother. Well, thank you, Lou Dog. Appreciate that. My English is so bad, I didn't even realise that was dog. I just thought you'd like... I thought you'd like... I guess I'd read it as loud, and then like AWGG69, and I was like, what? I just thought you'd like bashed a bunch of random keys. Okay, I'm with you. Pass me a Siggy Sig. Could you call him Captain on a bike? You guys are trolling me now. I will let you know the name, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to include Dante or Lewis or Sigmundson, or I mean, you could even go like Sigmar, right? It's probably not going to include a Games Workshop name. I'm probably, I was going to say, I'm a decent sized Star Wars fan, right? Like you probably noticed in a bunch of my videos, there's an Empire Strikes Back poster in the background, and I genuinely really like the original trilogy movies of Star Wars, and some of the other stuff. I'm not so keen on the prequels, and I actually really hated the sequels. But you know what, I did like The Mandalorian, but that was because it felt a lot like the original movies or the original timeline. So my wife always was joking with the first baby. She was like, do you not want to call your first girl after like Leia or something? And I was like, no. I don't want to name them after like a movie character, even though I do really like those movies. But no, I did. When I was a kid, I used to religiously watch the original Star Wars movies. I love those movies. Do you know what? They've released them in 4K and Disney Plus, but I haven't watched them. But maybe at some point I'll get round to watching them. How about call him Calistarius? That's a clever name as well. Horus is a name for a boy. I know you're moving. Is a house in Market crazy there? Someone just paid 20 grand over asking for my rental property I just sold. We're having a tough time, honestly, getting our house sold. Kevin, we've had it on the market now since November, and we haven't had a single viewer. And from what I hear, and I could be wrong here, but the thing that I heard was like people are finding it more difficult over here to get mortgages because of, I don't know, I know in America you guys opened up pretty quickly, but like we've just come out of like second lockdown, like a really long lockdown in the UK. We were in lockdown from Christmas until like March, right? Like end of March. We were in like a 12-week lockdown, maybe a little bit longer because of coronavirus. So over here, I mean, maybe houses are selling, but like we've had like no interest in our house, which is annoying because like I can't even look at, you know, we found some houses that we like and we looked at them, but the estate agents keep phoning us up like, hey, you know, if you want these houses, you really need to make an offer. And I was like, yeah, I can't make an offer because I need the money out of my current house. You know, like there isn't a scenario where we can buy a new house without selling this one. So, yeah, hopefully we'll get moved soon because I keep thinking about this. When I get moved, I would like to actually get maybe like a green screen, or at least have like a better backdrop and get some decent lights in the background and just make the whole setup feel a bit more professional. But it seems like a pointless endeavour if I do it here. Probably if I do it, then the very next day someone will make an offer on the house and I'll be like, well, that was a waste of time. Are you about to tell us Star Wars names? No, I'm not. We're not doing any movie names or Star Wars names. My wife is pretty much the boss of stuff like that. Maybe you get a present. What did Google send the child that they named Google? I have no idea. You should name him Luke just to be able to say, Luke, I am your father. Oh, that's a pretty clever name. Mandalorian was really good. My missus loved it too. Star Wars is awesome. Yeah, I mean, Disney Plus has generally been pretty good, right? I wonder how they're going to compete with the Warhammer Plus thing, right? Like, that's going to be a big ask, right? Like, how much... Because I never actually subscribed to the Warhammer app, right? But the Warhammer app got the cost of it, like, cut in half, right? Like, I think it was going to cost, like, $4.99 a month or something, and they cut it to, like, $2.99. Does anyone actually pay for the Warhammer app right now? And if so, what are you actually paying for it? Like, I bought my first home 10 years ago for 150k. It's worth 300k right now. Yeah, I mean, our house has gone up a bit in value. Nothing like that, but I mean, it's gone up like a little over 10% in the 5 years that we've had it. So I mean, it'll be, you know, it's been a good investment in that terms. But like, I guess, you know, for whatever reason, it's a tough time to sell over here for some reason. I hope it's just the lockdowns and stuff, and that we'll come out of this lockdown and then the house will sell. But I guess we'll see. Ontario, Canada is still under lockdown for the foreseeable future. No games at the friendly local game store for over a year. I did see that Canada was having a really tough time with the rollout of their vaccination program or something, because I actually, in my day job, I work with a guy who lives in Canada. I'm not entirely sure where in Canada, but he was saying that like the vaccination program was like, I think his words were like, it's a mess. I don't actually know what that means. Like, it just took a while for them to get it started, or they're having to play catch up or something. I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, I guess the question you've got to ask yourself though is like, with the amount of people that have now died from coronavirus, and it's a lot, right? Is it like, sometimes I guess it's just better to be safer than sorry in some of these lockdowns, and just like power through it, I guess, if you can. And I've never been someone that struggled with mental health, like, ever in my life. Like, mental health has never been a thing for me. I've never, you know, just generally never struggled with it. I'm always like kind of a happy, but like what you see in camera is what you get with me, right? I'm always kind of just happy and, you know, able to go and be a positive person. In fact, when I first met my wife, she actually used to say to me, it pisses me off how positive you are. Holy shit, dude, what the fuck? That is the biggest donation I have ever had, Toxic. 50 euros, man. Holy shit, you didn't even write anything. You put 50 euros and you didn't write anything. Next time at least write something, man. Holy shit, thank you so much. That is very, very kind of you, man. Thank you. So $2.99 for the app. Yeah, so they half the price of the app, right? Because I guess the app was buggy, or it wasn't good. It wasn't as good as Battlescribe. So like, if they're gonna do Warhammer Plus, and don't get me wrong, like, I don't know if you guys all watched the first. Thanks for subscribing, Althron. I appreciate that. Have you guys watched the little trailer that they put out for Angels of Death this week? The new, like, I guess, I don't exactly know what it is. It's a new series coming to. Correct me if I'm wrong here, right? But it's a new series about the Blood Angels, and it's going to be 10 parts, and each part is like 10 minutes long. So I guess it's kind of like a mini series. And they like previewed they previewed like the first 5 minutes of one of the episodes on the Games Workshop website. Honestly, if you've not checked it out, you totally should. John, you gave me so much advice, and I was never able to do so. Thanks a lot. No, Toxic, thank you, man. That's super generous of you. You are promoted, Toxic, to I was gonna say you're promoted to a Primaris Lieutenant, but is that a promotion or not? You can be Primaris Lieutenant Toxic from now on. Thank you so much. Yeah, so if you haven't watched this first 5 minutes of the Angels of Death, or maybe it's not the first 5 minutes, maybe it's just like a 5-minute excerpt from the new TV show, I'd say like go find it on the Warhammer community site, right? Because it looks badass. So like the animation, the graphics, the theme, the voice acting. I mean, like, we were talking the other day about the voice acting in that Battle Sector game being really good and on point, and feeling really Blood Angels and feeling really cool. Well, this animation looks like it's going to be really cool. But, you know, here's the thing with me and Disney Plus, and I guess me and all these sort of streaming services. We don't pay for them all the time, right? Like I said, I prefer to watch stuff in binges, right? So, like, we'll maybe pay for Netflix for 6 months and then cancel it for 6 months, and when we go back 6 months later, there'll be a ton of new stuff that we haven't watched, right? And we don't have to wait like week on week to get it. And because there's so many now, like Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, Netflix. I mean, if you actually Apple TV, I guess, because I actually have Apple TV because I bought an iPhone last year, and they gave you a year free Apple TV, right? So there's like, and I think there's other ones as well. I guess God knows how many streaming services there actually is, but there's at least 4 or 5, right? So like the idea is to just pay for 1 or 2 at a time and then catch up on other things. I guess the Warhammer TV, like, if they're going to keep you subscribed, they're going to need to have like new content every week. And I guess that's what Disney Plus are trying, right? Because Disney Plus were doing that thing with like a new Star Wars episode every Friday night with The Mandalorian, then it was like a new Marvel episode every Friday night with the Winter Soldier thing. And I think Disney Plus are doing it again with like, there's a new Loki TV show coming, I think, and it's probably going to have a new episode every Friday night, right? So it's like they're trying to build like a habit where it's like on Friday night you guys settle down and watch Disney Plus. So Warhammer Plus is going to be interesting. Like, I'm not like, will they make more money as a subscription than if they just done it as like you could buy it as a one-off? I guess maybe. I guess we'll see. I mean, I'll definitely want to try it. Like, I'll definitely be watching the Blood Angels one, right? That is still trash. Like, GW paintbrushes are really annoying. Like, I had to buy some during the pandemic because I couldn't. Like, I use these Element Games brush, and I don't know if you're in the UK or in Europe, check out Element Games, right? They're one of the links that I have in my description for the affiliate. And these brushes paint for so many hours. Like honestly, the last few Element Games brushes, like, I must have used them for like 500 hours of painting. And like, yeah, this brush, for example, is not in the greatest of states, but like, it's still getting a decent job done like 500 hours in. And once I get past all these sort of base colors, I'll use a better brush, or a newer brush, I guess. But Games Workshop brushes seem to last me like 2 sessions or something. Like, it's tragic how little they last. And I bought some during the pandemic because I couldn't get these Element brushes, and like instantly regretted it. I was like, wow, these brushes are so bad. I know that they've done these new synthetic Games Workshop brushes. Has anyone in chat actually bought the new synthetic brushes? I need to get that new game you showed. That new game I showed, Mark, is out on the 15th of July. And I'm probably actually going to stream it again either tomorrow night. Because they emailed me telling me that my beta key was like finishing next week. So if I want to stream the last 2 levels, I need to stream them like this week. So I guess Saturday night I usually do a Hangout. So probably I'll probably be streaming it tomorrow night, I think. We'll stream levels 4 and 5. No, I think it was levels 5 and 6, actually. Because I think we completed the first 4 levels. Blood Angels Commander watching Blood Angels. Shocked, I tell you. Yeah, that really is like WandaVision. That was Friday nights as well, wasn't it? Your advice is priceless. I've probably saved many brothers lots of money. Thank you. I'd be lost without your advice. You're welcome, man. I'm just one Blood Angel trying to make... What was it? I don't know this. I know the quote I'm trying to say. It's the Star Wars quote. Like, I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the universe. Just a simple Blood Angel trying to make my way in the universe. Does that work? I tried the synthetic, says Camille. I tried to watch a 40k movie with my girlfriend, Mission Impossible. Yeah, so hopefully this new animation stuff is really good, and maybe it can start getting more people into 40k, because yeah, my wife knows nothing about 40k, but maybe if there's a really tight animation, she might get into it. Good evening, Pedrog. How you doing? Not seen you in a while. Airbrush. I know. Do you know what? When I get a new house, maybe I'll get a wet palette, because I saw one on Kickstarter the other day that Squidmore had actually linked that looked pretty interesting. Maybe I'll get a wet palette, and maybe I'll get an airbrush. I'm hoping in the new house there can be an actual room dedicated for Warhammer. That's the dream. Or a garage at least, or somewhere that I can like film and stream and hang out. Like maybe a garage that's like attached to the house that could also sort of double as like a little studio or something. That's the dream. Get a big bag of cheapos off Amazon, or 1 or 2 good Sable one for faces. Do you know what? I also watch Midwinter Minis. Do you guys watch Midwinter Minis? And he recommended some brush. There were some brushes off Amazon. They were in the link on in his video description. He said I use these cheap brushes off Amazon, and they're synthetic, and you get 10 brushes in a pack for $6.99 or something. And I bought them, and they're actually okay. I thought for $6.99 these things actually do a pretty decent job. If you're painting dreadnoughts and tanks and bigger models, they're cheap and cheerful, but get a job done. My wife calls my models my little astronaut toys. GW Artificer brushes are rebranded Winsor & Newton Season 7s. Are they? Are they really? Because I've had some Artificer brushes and I thought they were crap. I mean, I haven't bought an Artificer brush in a while. But I've definitely had some that felt like they were really not... They were not good, I guess. Good night, Lagmeister. Thanks for hanging out. Dovin says, my girlfriend watches it with me and retains none of it. I think that's a thing that women do, though, right? They watch stuff. I think women watch so much stuff that they find it hard to retain it just because they watch so much. I honestly said to my wife at one point, I was like, I think you finished with Netflix. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, I think you've watched everything on it. And she's like, yeah, probably. It's like you just always watching stuff. But my wife watches TV while reading a book. I can't do that, right? That's multitasking on the next level. The synthetic is good for base coating, but doesn't take much paint like a normal brush, but it's more durable. Just bought it, says Mark. Battle Sector. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to play Battle Sector when it launches, man. I really enjoyed my time in the beta. And like I said, my computer is literally a potato. At some point I will upgrade it. Yeah, the Battle Sector looks like it's going to be a very fun game. And also, the intro in the cinema, if the story continues, what you see in the little intro thing, I honestly thought it was dope. I liked it when the woman was in the grim darkness of the far future. Whenever they say that brings me back to the very first box that I ever had, the second edition box, where it said it right on the cover in big text, I guess Indomitus never had that. Just go to your local art store. Wet palette is way cheaper non-branded. The one that was on Kickstarter this week was actually only 20 quid. I think I put a reminder on it. On Kickstarter you can do a reminder so they remind you when the campaign's almost finished. So I think I'll probably buy it, and then I think I'll probably buy it. I also pre-ordered the giant Blood Angel. Did you guys see that? The 7-inch the Gold Series Primaris Intercessor with the chainsword and plasma pistol. I don't know if you guys saw that was up for pre-order on Forbidden Planet if you're here in the UK. And it was $19.99, which I thought seemed like a decent price, so I quite fancy repainting it though. Blood Angel's Man Cave, I'm just still dreaming. Yes, a Blood Angel. Once we get the new house, if we actually have space, then I promise you guys I will replace the Star Wars posters with Blood Angels posters, and we'll make it into a proper Blood Angel. I would like to, ever since I started the channel, I would like to replace those posters. They're just super expensive, right? Like, that Star Wars poster, which is like a framed canvas, was like $29.99 or something. The Blood Angels one on the Games Workshop website is like $150. And I mean, I don't know why it's so expensive. Like, I mean, I'll probably eventually get one because I really want a Blood Angels one. But like, if they can make a Star Wars one for $29, then why the hell is the Blood Angels one $150? Is it? It's a little, you know, I guess it's a little bit like the tabletop models. Like, everything is just a premium with Games Workshop a little bit. Tyndall's has a good one for about £25. Be safe, everyone. Yeah, one woman watched so much I Paint Models and listen to YouTube or listen to 40k books and Audible. We only have one telly. My PlayStation has gone rusty. Yeah, I actually, we have a telly in the kitchen, but we opted to not put a television in the bedroom because I read a thing that basically said, like, if you don't have a television in the bedroom, then it's easier to get to sleep. And I don't know how much truth there is in that, but like, it's this whole thing that you can do with like avoiding distractions in your bedroom can apparently help you get, if there's nothing to distract you from sleep in your bedroom, then apparently it will be easier to sleep. I'm not sure how much I trust on it, but I think we both decided that we won't have a telly in the bedroom because we thought it might help, I guess. In hindsight, I can't tell you if it helps or not, I guess. GW Sprazer again in the EU. I was actually going to need to buy some varnish for my finished librarian. I'll show you. I don't know, some of you guys maybe weren't here at the start of the stream. Let me show you where did I put my librarian? I had him a minute ago. Did I put him back over there? Oh, I put him over here. Yeah, so I've got this guy to varnish tomorrow. He's gonna come on the board on Monday night. Commander Dante's jump pack. He's stolen him because Commander Dante doesn't need it right now. But no, it's an old metal Commander Dante jump pack and a Sanguinary Guard arm, and yeah, pretty cool little librarian. Hopefully, guess we'll see how he performs on the board. I'm probably gonna give him Armor Indomitus. You know, a lot of people give their librarian Artificer armor, but I think I prefer Armor Indomitus. I think it's the more flexible of the options, because the way I see Artificer armor, right, you don't get the extra wound, and you only get that invulnerable save when you're hit with like -4, right? So like, if you're gonna get hit with a -4 weapon, to me you've put your librarian in the wrong position, and that would be when I would pop his 3+ invulnerable save from Armor Indomitus, and then in the next turn, when he's hopefully still alive because the Armor Indomitus kept him alive, I would get him in a position that he isn't going to get hit with -4 again. I feel like you would get more value out of that maybe than the Artificer armor, but I guess, who knows? I guess we'll play it a couple of times and see how we feel about it. $22 out of 32 for the likes. Yeah, I mean, if you are enjoying tonight's stream, guys, you can hit the like button. It does help out. And if you are new here, you can also subscribe. You know, we are here on YouTube pretty much like, we're live 4 times a week. Let me get that right. Monday, Thursday, Saturdays, Sundays. Yeah, we're live like 4 times a week, and then sometimes we have like a couple of other videos come out every week. You're going Ultra Smurfs? No, we're not going Ultra Smurfs. We just put librarians are supposed to be blue, man. Ever bought models from Etsy? No, but I have bought models in the past from Recasters, and I have bought models in the past from eBay that are also, I believe, recasts. I was thinking of buying a model from that. Is it Wargame exclusive? What's it called? I think it's called Wargame Exclusive. If you Google Wargame Exclusive, they're a company that do like alternate casts for like Mephiston, and I think they've done an alternate cast for Dante now, and they did an alternate cast for like a Smash Captain, like and yeah, do you know what? I have bought parts from eBay as well, and also like Bitsbox. So I've bought stuff from all over, and also I've bought third-party storm shields from Cromlech. I bought third-party helmets from that Liberarium Demonica. I think they're a Russian reseller. So I've bought, I've just bought from all over from time to time. But no, never Etsy actually. I imagine they're 3D printed if they're coming from Etsy, but who knows? I mean, it seems like just if you roll crazy 5-ups. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you roll crazy 5-ups, and then Artificer armor is good, but for me it feels like the armor Indomitus is the smarter choice. Hey Brudden, thanks for subscribing, brother, appreciate that. We've had a lot of new members and subscribers tonight, and also $50 from Toxic, Primaris Lieutenant Toxic, Superstar, thank you, man. Yeah, that's the first time I've had a bigger donation than 20, so thank you so much for that. That's pretty much the new camera sorted then, thank you. Because I was probably only like $50 away from getting it, so appreciate that, man. I don't know what's next after the new camera. Some more lighting, I think. Try and improve basically the place where we play the live games. I'd like to continue to improve that, and then maybe I would like to get some more lighting. Like, I'm gonna try and improve my home setup as well. So pretty much every dollar that comes into this channel gets spent on this channel, but it's fine. It's all good. So it's been a while, guys. It's been a while we've been working on this Sanguinary Guard, and I am the slowest painter ever. So we now have, and we've been batching these on the stream for a while, we now have 8, I believe, with all their stupid little armor joints painted silver, and most of it tidied up as well. So I am maybe going to give their wings actually a second coat of like Celestial Grey next. I think that's probably what we'll do, is we have all the wings a second coat of grey. Some of these wings definitely need a second coat of white on the tops of them. And then I'm going to wash all the wings with Nuln Oil. I think that's where we're going next. And it, when you're doing a big batch paint like this, it does take a while, I guess. But it is what it is. These two have bits that could be done. Yeah, we're gonna look at Celestia Grey next. And some of these leg armor pieces and like flares, some of them could probably use a second coat of the Celestia Grey as well. I think I'm going to use a more accurate brush though when we're doing the model, because I don't really want to have to touch that up too much more. You can take time with Artificer, not with Indomitus. What do you mean you can take time? I buy a lot from eBay. Hey Torzin, good evening, how you doing? I'm finishing my sister's army from Raging Heroes. The Repentia are amazing. Repentia are amazing, dude. Sisters are in a very strong place right now. We're going to be fighting Sisters live on Monday nights, or this Monday coming, and it's going to be a tough game. One question: if I 3D print a model, is it automatically illegal in tournaments? You need to check with your tournament organizer, I guess. But if the model is the exact same size and it's not, like, if the tournament's not being held in a Games Workshop store, you might be okay with it. And you can only use GW bits or the green stuff in tournaments. I don't care too much. You know, I have a friend that plays at tournaments. 8 nights, congrats, only 16 to go. I actually have a bunch of Sangre Guard already finished, man. I have a bunch of them actually finished here on the desk. So this one I would class as finished. So I've based them. I've basically dry brushed those wings. I've put some contrast paint here and on this bit here, just Blood Angel's contrast red actually over the top of the gold. It gives sort of like a nice goldeny, reddy, whatever. So these ones are actually finished. So I have a bunch of finished Sangre Guard. I'm just doing more because I stupidly made tons of them in previous editions with Power Fists and Infernal Pistols, and these guys are like 40 points a model at the moment, so I just don't field them. So I didn't want to rip these guys' arms off. It would have been the quicker way to do it. Again, that's just contrast red paint over the gold on the gun. Actually looks quite decent. I might do that on this other Infernal Pistol I've got here. I forgot I'd even done that. Where's that other Infernal Pistol? Yeah, look, this guy's got an Infernal Pistol. Do you know what? We'll just do that just now on stream. I don't barely ever use contrast paint. Especially not on stream. I don't think I've ever used contrast paint before on stream. Let me grab the contrast paint. Say you're a master with green stuff if questioned. You could do. I mean, I'm sure I've been at tournaments where people have like 3D printed a gun or a sword or a cannon barrel. And I've actually seen side by side a real Forge World model and a fake Forge World model, and they were both painted. And the friend said to me, "Can you guess which the fake one is?" And I picked the wrong one. So yeah, I mean, I guess if you might not even need to tell them if it's fake. I actually have yeah. Alright, I'm going to use a little bit of contrast red. It's been a while since we used this, so I'm just going to give it a good shake. I actually don't even know it really needs a shake. Does contrast paint separate? Forge World stuff often looks bad. Yeah, Forge World stuff also can be really difficult to get off the sprues and stuff, right? Oh wow, this looks pretty thick. Is that right for contrast paint? It's probably not been used in a couple of years. Someone tell me if that's the thickness. Is that normally what contrast paint looks like? It's quite I've only used it like a handful of times. It's very dark. Is that right? Does it separate? Contrast paint does separate. Alright, we're shaking then. And thin it a little bit as well. Okay. I think I only used this for the last batch of Sangre Guard, and this was the one pot of contrast paint I got when it came out. So whenever contrast paint was released, I think that must almost be like 2 years ago now. Alright, let's see how it does. I mean, we can always paint over it if it doesn't look good or it doesn't work. This is weird. It's very, very runny. Is it? I have no idea what to expect from this. Like, it's way more runny than... Was it this runny before? Like, I literally don't use contrast paint. Well, we'll try and put it on, we'll let it dry, and then no doubt we'll just tidy it up. I don't have any contrast medium, I just have water. I have Lamium medium, but not contrast medium. Oh yeah, a bit more water does help, thank you. That seems weird, it's sort of counterproductive to put more water in it and it help it, but okay. Alright, we'll have to tidy this up, something terrible, but at least it's going on now. Contrast paints require more shaking than regular paints. I mean, it's meant to be runny. How many times have we discussed the new chapter approved? A few times, Smithy, but we don't have too much info about it, right? Just that Land Raiders are going down in points cost, but I don't think anyone thinks Land Raiders are going to be viable with the new point cost, right? Everyone's just like, well, it's nice that they're going down 20 points, but like... Unless type 1 in the chat if you think Land Raiders are going to be viable, and type 2 if you think they're still going to be... You still can't run a Land Raider. Here we go. We got 1, 2. Storm Raven going from 310 to 290, still garbage. Have you got a friend that's already got the chapter approved book or something? Because if you can hit me up with some leaks, it would be very much appreciated. Do you expect any points changes in Blood Angels? I would like some point reductions, but expect is a strong word. I don't think there'll be too much that happens to Marines. I don't think they can do much to Marines because Marines aren't in that strong a place, right? Apart from Dark Angels, I don't think any of the other Marine armies are like tier 1 right now, are they? Or no one's really rating the other chapters that high in terms of the like if you had to do tiers. Space Wolves are maybe like similar to us. Ultramarines probably need a codex, right? Maybe they'll be strong if they get a codex. The Tesla on the Necron Mortals is free now. I heard that as well, that the Tesla was going to be free. So the Mortals are going to be... Do you know what? I think that's a good change though, actually. White Scar won 2 Evaders events, did they? I think that there was way too much Necron Warrior spam, right? It was like the Mortals didn't even get a look in. It was just like spam the Warriors. So I think that the Mortal change is probably a good change. You know, I'm fine with other armies getting some point drops as well, right? I think... Is it just me, or do you guys feel that Plague Burst Crawlers are underpointed as well for what they currently are? I mean, I could be wrong here, but I think the -1 damage on the Plague Burst Crawlers and the fact that they have like indirect fire that's really strong, and the entropy cannons, which are basically better than multi-meltas and las cannons because the minimum 4 damage. I don't know. I really like Plague Burst Crawlers. If I was a Death Guard player, I'd probably be running 3 Plague Burst Crawlers, honestly. Like, I think they're so strong. Alright, and here's the drawback. Nerf bat on the Dark Angel stuff. Yeah, maybe they'll do some things. Here's the drawback about doing too thin coats: is you end up doing coats on, like, I don't like the first coat of this grey went on pretty well, which is surprisingly, actually, because I would have painted it over gold, because I spray these guys gold. But I guess we're putting on the second coat of grey now. Oh well, I'm sure they'll look good in the end. It'll all be worth it. Yeah, so probably be back tomorrow streaming a bit of Battle Sector, the last couple levels. So if you wanna see the last couple levels of Battle Sector, keep an eye out for that. That'll be happening tomorrow. We also have our weekly tactics video that goes up on a Friday, so that'll be out on the channel tomorrow as well. And then I think Saturday night we'll probably come back and continue working on the Sangori Guard. It's important to me to get these guys finished, to be honest, and I guess it's another 240 points of stuff painted once they're finished, so that'll be nice. So we're going to continue working on the Sangori Guard probably Saturday night, and then Sunday live army list show 4 o'clock UK time, and then Monday night live battle against Sisters of Battle, kicking off at 7:30, and it might be the last battle with the old chapter approved book. I guess we'll find out, and it'll be a tough ass battle because, like I said, Andrew's list is going to have 44 melta guns in it, or not 44 melta guns, but he's gonna be able to shoot 24 inches, 44 melta shots in turn 1. He's also got that banner, it gives the Sisters ignore EP -2, which is frigging crazy strong. We got stumped by that banner last time, actually, when we ran the guy, the Death Company captain with the Teeth of Terra in, expecting to do a ton of work, and the ignore -2 just like neutered his Teeth of Terra really hard. So yeah, we've got a tough battle coming up, I guess. So that'll be live on Monday night. I've ordered the chapter approved book. Doubt I'll get mine before you. I didn't think it was out to pre-order till Saturday, Smithy. You've got the hookup, man. You know the rules. You know that the points costs, and you've managed to pre-order the book already. Lucky you, man. I was planning on checking on Saturday. I need to get another can of varnish and the chapter approved book, because that was my plan for this week. And if any of you guys are in the UK or the US, I suppose, if you are planning on getting chapter approved, you can use the affiliate links in the video descriptions. Send a few dollars. Well, what is the chapter approved book? $20? Probably send me 50 cents if you use the affiliate links. We'll use that towards something on the channel at some point, I'm sure. Hey Jeff, good evening, how you doing? I think GW wants to sell some non-marine models. I mean, they certainly do want to sell their non-marine models, but I would like it if the balance was done better, you know? I don't know who internally at Games Workshop is in charge of the balance of the units, but like, I do think that there's some like really big oversights in some of the balance stuff recently. Like, if you compare a Plague Burst Crawler to like a a Predator Annihilator, like there's no comparison. And the if anything, the Predator Annihilator is more points. Like it just doesn't make any sense. So you think the Sisters will win 70% of the time? Well, do you know what? We'll see. We'll see, Captain, because I don't like to let Andrew win any game, even if his list is crazy tailored to try and win. I will fight to the last man. I think a lot of it will depend on terrain, right? Like if there's a lot of terrain, chapter approved book was 3250. I pre-ordered 3x5 heavy intercessors, the Gravis Captain with the bolter. Thousand Suns should be crazy after the Sisters and the Admech. Yeah, I'm be interested if Thousand Suns get any new models. Honestly, like I feel like with Death Guard getting so much love, I feel like Thousand Suns deserve something new, right? Like a new character, maybe, or because what have they got character-wise? They just have Magnus and Ahriman, right? Like it'd be nice if they got a new character. I mean, they can have one of ours. They're all junk, right? Someone could defect to the Thousand Suns. Yeah, Thousand Suns will get one new dude, maybe. That'd be cool, though. I like the Thousand Suns. I was building a Thousand Sun kill team a couple of years ago. Never quite got it finished, but I mean, I still have the models and they're half... story of my life, they're half painted. You know, I guess a lot of people have a pile of shame where, like, in their pile of shame it's just stuff on the sprues. No, my pile of shame is like everything is half painted. We buy it, we get excited, we do the half the painting, and then I'm working on a competitive army list, because that's usually how my life goes. Like, I'm always working to paint for an army. So Death Guard aren't really able to use demons anymore, right? Like, they changed all that so that if the Death Guard used the demons, they would lose... Actually, I think they lose their contagions, right? If they use demons, Death Guard. So Thousand Suns should probably get something similar. Like a new army-wide mechanic that if they ally up with other factions, they lose it. That would make the most sense to me, I think. GW uses the Family Guy's manatee to make their unit point decisions. Yeah, I don't know. They definitely don't use logic. The siege drill is no longer available in the Forge World site. A lot of stuff looks to have been cancelled. When you say siege drill, do you mean the Terrax? I wouldn't have thought they would have cancelled the Terrax. Sometimes I don't. Mark, sometimes the different regions of Forge World have problems, it seems like. I think you're in America, right, Mark? So you might want to check the UK site, because honestly, sometimes I've seen people say stuff like, oh, it's out of stock, it's been cancelled, and then like in another region, it's still there. I could be wrong, but that's just what I've heard. We could give them Tycho, he's dead, Rubik anyway. I guess. Yeah, we could give them Tycho. My pile of shame are 2.5 armies built in grey plastic. Yeah, so I guess some people build them, or some people leave them on the sprues. I guess building them is probably the most common thing, right? Because you get them, you build them, you play with them, you decide that they're not for you, and then you move on. And I think that's why most of mine are half done, because I build them, I think they're gonna work. I spend some time getting a few, like, you've seen my painting how slow it is. I spend a lot of time doing base colours. A lot of coat and a lot of base colours. So usually I get like a bunch of base colours on them, so they're at least somewhere. Then it's like, oh yeah, they're not going to work in this army. So then they just get put to the side. But yeah, I can see why some people make them in their grey. 50 piles of grey or 50 shades of grey, I guess. It's a bug on the site, confirmed. The Leviathan arm. Oh right. Yeah, I don't think they've. I was gonna say I don't think they're cancelling Leviathans. I could be wrong, but. All right, I'm gonna make this Sangori Guards Wings the last of the night. I think. It's like 3 minutes to midnight. We usually try and close up the stream about midnight. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow for sure. Probably twice tomorrow, actually. Probably have the tactics video, and then we'll probably also have a live stream of the last level of Battle Sector, just because my beta is running out and I kind of want to see all the levels. So if you want to see the next couple of levels of Battle Sector, you can come hang out tomorrow. And keep an eye on the channel tomorrow as well for another sort of tactics, weekly tactics video too. And then Sunday and Monday as well. So keeping busy. But yeah, no, thank you so much everybody for hanging out tonight. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I think we had some new people here tonight as well, which is nice. It's always nice to see some new faces, some new members as well, so that's also appreciated. So if you are new, then thanks for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Whoa, don't drop the models. I was going to say, I've got a blanket on me, so I'm probably going to have a bit of fluff off this damn blanket on their wings now. Quickly just double check we didn't get anything on there. There we go. Yeah, there's a little bit of fluff. I think we're okay though. Get it? Cool. Man, Sanguinary Guard are such cool models. If Sanguinary Guard could go down like 5 points, I would be in my absolute element. Or, you know, I'm running Vanguard Veterans because I think they're stronger than Death Company right now. And I guess some people might disagree with that. Death Company can do a little bit more damage, but, you know, there's problems that the Death Company have because they can't fall back, they can't do actions. Quite often I need one of my units to do an action, you know. So that's why I prefer the Vanguard Veterans. But I guess let's see if they can't maybe take a few points off some of these Death Company models. Excuse me. That would be so nice. Alright, cool. The never-ending quest to finish these Sanguinary Guard continues. Oh, and well, you know what we'll do? We'll look at the sky that I put the contrast paint on. 9 Inceptors. Sorry, 12 Inceptors, 9 Suppressors, 9 Aggressors, 15 Heavy Intercessors. That'll keep you busy, man. That would take... Let me think that's like 21, 30, 45 models. That would take me about 9 months to paint that, you know that? I think it takes me like 2 months to paint 10 guys to a really high standard. I hate Forge World. It's all with this model, but it's Forge World and overpriced in points and real money, and they're ultra broken. I don't think they're broken. Forge World are expensive, which can be a little bit annoying, I guess. But I wouldn't go as far to just say they're broken. Like I don't think Leviathan Dreadnoughts are broken. I think they're strong, but I wouldn't say they're broken. All right, so the contrast paint ran a little bit, but we just quickly tidy that up with some gold and I guess some silver, and it gives you the contrast. The Blood Angels contrast paint gives you an interesting effect over the gold, right? It sort of gives you this like crimson. I don't know what you would call it. I mean, it's probably not. They probably don't say anywhere. Try putting contrast paint over gold. They always tell you to put down that like grey sear or whatever it is, or yeah, I think it's grey sear. Like I said, I'm not really a contrast paint person. I've done my whole army without it, so I'm not like I decided like I'm not. Yes, maybe I'll finish the army quicker if I moved everything to contrast paint, but I'm not doing that because I've done so much the old way. But yeah, you know, it does give you a pretty interesting effect over the gold. I kind of like it. And I guess if you don't want to paint all your guns like just black or something, you know, like which would be the standard color, I suppose, to paint your guns. If you want to do something a little bit different, Blood Angels contrast over the gold seems to work pretty nice. Which gold is that? It's Retributor, like, so I spray them Retributor armor, but I spray it over black, and again, I don't know if that's recommended or what, but all these Sangre Guard were sprayed black first. So I spray them black, then I spray them, and do you know what, I've got one here just to prove it to you. So look, I'll actually spray black, and then I don't have any gold spray at the moment, so I need to get some gold spray, so I'll actually spray that whole thing gold, and then what it does though is, like, see in there behind the wing, but like on the back of the body, you can kind of tell that it was black before because the gold spray hasn't got like full coverage, and you can see bits of, like, I guess like you would call it almost like peppered, like the gold's been peppered on over the black back there. So like sometimes I have to go in with my brush like this and just tidy up the bits that didn't quite get the gold spray. But I think it gives a pretty interesting gold. Like I think it's got a bit of a level of depth to the gold. It's what I would say. I mean, it's hard to explain it, right? Because you're like explaining a color of paint, but that's kind of how I feel about it. Alright, 1 second, come on. Yeah, I feel like I'm happy enough with that. Yeah, the gold, I think it works. An easy way, like if you don't want to spend too much time doing parts of the Sangre Guard, gold contrast, red, Blood Angel's red over the gold Retributor is pretty nice. And like I've used it on this axe head, for example, here. Pretty quick and easy to do, right, with the contrast paint. That's nice. People hate on contrast, nice, but it's nice and it doesn't make me faster the way I use it. Yeah, I mean, I literally only have the one tub of it, this Blood Angels tub, Blood Angels Contrast Red, so I don't use it much. Fish and chips for dinner, says Mark. Dinner of Champions, Mark. But yeah, no, thanks so much for watching, guys, tonight. I appreciate you all hanging out. Thanks to the new members, thanks for the subscribers. Thank you for the super chats. I hope I'll catch you guys soon. It's been fun, and yeah, we'll be back tomorrow playing some live battle sector. So tune in if you want to see that. So have a great evening, guys. Appreciate everything. Talk to you soon. By the blood are we made. Peace.